Alrighty, we're going to start today's ad hoc committee for the Rules of Procedure of City Council. I am the chairman, Josh Palmer. To my right is Dennis Hellman and Dan DeArmond. First, we're going to make those few cleanup items on the rules, the red line draft that we have. Clean those up like we said we would at the last meeting, the last council meeting, and then we'll jump right into public comment. Hey, Dan, do you have those changes ready?
What were the items we needed? The one I wanted to talk about was, I think, hang on. Hang on just a second. Okay. So the one I wanted to talk about was speaker comments shall be directed to council members. Speaker's comments shall not be directed to other elected officials or members of the administration. And I just want to make sure that we want to keep that in there because I'm concerned there's not support on city council for that. So if it stays, it's on. Oh, I mean, okay. All right. Sorry.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 14 of 30. You want to see that, Josh?
I got it.
It's right there where
I've got it.
Okay. All right. I'll bring that back down. So, I'm in favor of taking that out, but if you two want to leave it in, then it stays. So you guys need to decide on how you feel about that.
Okay, I'm on that page. Now run that by me again.
So I'm on 14 of 30. I'm looking at this.
All right.
That sentence. Speaker comments should be directed to council members. Speaker's comments shall not be directed to other elected officials or members of the administration. I don't know, just the conversations during council meetings, I'm just concerned there's not support for that. And I don't want to see this whole thing go down in flames. I guess, the thing that changed my mind the most is when the mayor said she didn't care. So I'm okay taking it out, but if you guys both want to leave it in, then it stays, so.
What if we amended it to the comments need to contain an issue that is on the agenda instead of just random things that a simple phone call or an email could address?
All right, so what would you suggest what would it say then? So,
Council members, speakers, comments shall not be other elected officials or members of the administration. Could you say unless they are addressing an issue that is before city council? I mean, I don't mind. I think it's appropriate if they want to address, the administration, so long as it's an item that's on the agenda, and when that agenda comes up, if the administration gets involved with it.
why don't you put your speaker on, your microphone?
That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right. I guess to repeat what I was saying, I don't have a problem with that staying in there as long as it's clarified that the speaker is addressing an issue that is before city council. Because they're going to be involved. The administration frequently is involved in a conversation of an item that has come up and is answering questions, clearing issues, and clarifying issues. And if that's part of the discussion, I'm fine with it. If it's some rogue comment that they've got a problem with that has nothing to do with what we were talking about or had been talking about, I guess I have a little bit of a problem with that. You follow me?
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to write down. So the speaker can address other elected officials as long as the topic is on the agenda. Is that what you're saying? As long as the topic is on the agenda?
Mm-hmm.
I've got it for another way, Dan, if you want me to read it. I've got one sentence.
Are you ready for public comments, or do you want to?
Just the word this.
Just trying to wordsmith it, is what you're saying?
I'd say go ahead.
Go
Go ahead and
Sure.
wordsmith. There's a
Go ahead.
microphone right here you can come up to.
Well, I think you can hear me. My voice carries
No.
It's recorded. Live stream.
They want your face on TV.
Make sure you introduce yourself.
Randy Odermatt, 724 6th Street. My suggestion for the sentence would be, any comments directed to other city officials shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, say that slower. Any items directed,
Any items directed to other city officials shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
any items directed to other city officials. Any comments or any items?
Any comments, I'm sorry.
That's
any
what I
comments
had. Okay.
Yep.
Any comments directed to other city officials
shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
Does that, Dan, address it?
I don't know.
What
does
you
that-
feel?
I'm just trying to think through that. Does
Well, I
that,
am too, and I think it that addresses the issue. Any comments directed to other city officials shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
okay, so we have this sentence up above it. Does that whole thing come out?
The one you
Speaker
checked-
comments
yeah.
shall be directed to council members. Speaker's comments shall not.
That second part of after the semicolon.
After that, after you just
Well,
stop there.
it kind of contradicts. So it says speaker's comments shall be directed to council members, and then you're saying any comments directed to other fish.
Other city officials.
Yeah, so it's kind of, are they,
Speaker
just take the whole thing out.
Just take them, replace it with that. Yeah,
Speaker-
Dan, I think we
speaker-
just replace that whole sentence.
Just say speaker comments
Yeah.
directed to other city officials shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
Okay, okay, so non-agenda items just have to be directed to city council then. So, is there any other contradictions, public? All right, hang on.
I mean, I think that begins to clarify it.
If you just replace it with that.
Okay. Let's go to that's not where I was looking for. Sorry.
What you looking for?
I want. Hang on. There's another part where. I mean, that doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Well.
Speaker comments directed to other city officials shall be restricted to items on the agenda.
You want to put speaker instead of any? Is that what you're saying? Did you say speaker?
Well, that's what I
comment?
did,
Oh.
yeah, but we can leave it any.
Well, I
any
don't, whatever,
comments.
you tell me what you want.
Speaker.
Comments.
Speaker comments directed to other city officials shall be restricted.
And who are other city officials? You want to say to,
Those people, or the people, the mayor and.
I know, but like, you want to, other than city council? So speaker
You can clarify-
comments
you can clarify
directed
it that way if you
to,
want. Speaker comments directed to other city,
To-
to city officials other than city council, other than members of
yeah,
city council.
to,
Directed to city officials other than city council.
I like that better, actually. So directed to city officials other than city council shall be restricted to, okay, okay.
Does that
I'm
help?
good with that, yeah, okay. All right, anything else we would need to clarify?
Directed to city other than, okay. Shall be restricted to items on the agenda. I'm good to continue on. You got anything else that's
That's all
burdensome?
I think so, that's all I had.
Okay.
So we're gonna,
I'm fine.
so I guess, so the major items we're changing is we're changing the timing of when the public speaks. An agenda items during the discussion, non-agenda item is towards the end. Another major change is the 60 minutes of public input with a continuous clock. And then this sentence about speaker comments directed to city officials other than city council shall be restricted to items on the agenda. We made a few minor ones that I'm going to call minor, like you have to get your agenda items submitted to Denise by Thursday instead of Friday. That's kind of a minor. We added a utility contractor section just for them to speak, so they're not really during the public comment period. We put some qualifications on speakers. They must live in the city, represent companies doing business in the city, and they must or live in a neighboring community. And then a couple items that we did discuss previously that are not included anymore. I just want to, at one point we talked about you can't speak more than one time during a meeting, and that's no longer in there because, so if you want to speak on 2 agenda items, you'd still have 4 minutes. You'd come up, spend your 2 minutes on the first item, sit down, and then when the second item comes up, you'd have the balance of your 4 minutes left. So still restricted to 4 minutes, but you can come up and speak more than once during a meeting. And then we also, at one point we said you couldn't speak more than once on an agenda item. So if that agenda item is presented 3 weeks in a row, you could speak all 3 weeks in a row. And so that's no longer in there. So I think we're about done here. So if you want to open it for public comment.
All right, we will now open this for public comment. Do we have a volunteer to go first? All right. Yeah, come up and state your name. And
We lost the podium tonight.
yeah, we
sorry.
lost the podium. They got borrowed.
Red button means we're on, right?
Red light should be lit, and you're
All
good.
right. So Jamie Cunningham, Van Buren, Allen Township. And you already answered the one question about non-agenda items being addressed at the end. But when you say neighboring communities, are you going to list specific ones? Because we are Van Buren, which is an adjacent community. I don't know if you're going to put specific language
No.
into. Okay. Yeah, we just want to
Just-
make sure that.
Just neighboring, I think.
Yeah.
That
And then-
whole thing was about making sure that it had something to do with city council and not some random topic that isn't.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. That's what I wanted to clarify.
Okay. All right.
All right, who's next for the gauntlet?
Appreciate your comments, Randy.
Again, Randy Odermatt, 724 6th Street. First of all, I'd like to applaud you guys for, I think, the very thorough and careful planning that you did. This when it started out, was kind of a hot button topic for a lot of people, and I think you guys realized that. And I don't know if that changed, maybe made you just sit back and back off a little bit, but I'm glad that you did. There are a lot of people in this community, as I've said before, a lot of people in this community who are very involved in local politics, who want to see what's going on and want what's best for this city. They want this city to stay. I think Grant Russell stated at one time in a city council meeting, talking about the small town charm and the conservative values that we have. And I know we're living in a whole different world now. The world is changing rapidly, and we're trying to just keep the brakes on a little bit for here and stay sane as long as we can in Findlay, Ohio, while the rest of the world goes crazy. So I think that's why a lot of these people are concerned. It's not that they're anti-government or hate everybody in city government. They just want to see things stay more like they are and not have a lot of change. Hopefully, I think you've kept those people happy. I would encourage people who are maybe not here and are out there watching this live stream that when you do come in and make comments, we need to make sure that we're being civil and not resort to the tactics that we see in our federal government. We don't want to go to that level. We want to stay more civil. We can do it without having name calling. We can question people. We can get input, give our input, and not have to worry about something like this having to come up that they want to start restricting our rights as citizens. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy. All right, anybody else?
Jim Niemeyer.
Get Jim next.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, I'm Danny DeLong, Ward 7 here in the city. Just have a question as far as one of the points that you had in the past was that the president could decide if the question was valid for city business. Is that still in there, or was that taken out?
Let's see here.
Where'd you end up putting that?
It was the
So,
rule allowing
yeah,
the council
it
president
is,
to
yes.
screen out
Yes,
public
yeah.
speaking requests that are not city business.
Yeah, Dan, so it does say I'm on page 14 of this document, at the very bottom, guys. So it says public communications, written and oral, shall be limited to issues directly related to the city of Findlay as determined by the presiding officer. So that is typically the president, but it could be the president pro tem.
Okay.
So when we get requests, somebody's got to look at them and say, this has to do with the city and it doesn't have to do with the city, right? I mean, so I think most recently we had one come in about Sunny Farms landfill. And we just said, that doesn't, it's kind of
Doesn't pertain.
and it's a neighboring, it's more of a county commissioner issue. It didn't really pertain to city council. So somebody's got to make that determination that it should be on the agenda or it doesn't. And so it seemed like the president is the most appropriate person to do that. So
I
that,
just kind of agreed with Patty Klein that just seemed to be too vague.
yeah. What would you suggest? How do we determine?
I don't know, but that
I'm
just
just gonna
that
ask that.
statement just seemed to be very vague.
Yeah.
Public communications.
And my other
shall be
question
limited
was, this was brought up from Van Buren here. I was here at a city council meeting a while back, and something was brought up about Liberty Township, and that discussion went on like forever. So if you're going to limit 60 minutes and something happens like that with a filibuster, then that would cut out other things.
Hey, Danny, we also have the ability to suspend the rules and grant more time.
Okay.
So if we do have a good discussion going like that, yeah, we can suspend the rules. Say, hey, we're going to go longer.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about.
No, it's not like it's a.
Especially if it's somebody outside of the city and it spends more than, a half hour on that, and it
I
cuts
mean,
out other things.
we don't want filibustering going on. I mean, that's what we want.
Has that ever happened? I can't imagine.
Not since I've been on.
I
but
can't imagine a city council member actually trying to drag out a meeting. I mean,
But-
No,
pretty-
but I mean,
Yeah.
no, but it just, that went on and on
yeah,
and
is that right?
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
That's
it
what
good
I'm getting
discussion
at.
or was just rambling? I mean, in
No,
your
it
opinion.
was a lot of discussion. but
Okay.
Okay,
like
yeah.
I say, this,
So if
it
there's,
was,
if there's a good topic that is
Okay.
pertinent to the city
yeah.
and it takes an hour and there's no meeting, no time at the end, then I don't know, so be it. But I mean, if it's good discussion, then
okay, I
Um,
just wanted to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't stop us from suspending the rules.
Okay, understand.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Sure.
Thanks,
you.
Danny. Jim, you had your hand up. You want to come up?
I can wait until city council.
It's up to you, Jim.
Calm down.
Get this police in.
Calm down or I'll throw you out.
You have to get the police in here.
I've been on city council 10, 11 years.
Jim, state your name for everybody.
I'm
Most of
sorry.
us, everybody here knows who you are. Maybe somebody at
Jim
home doesn't.
Niemeyer, live on 1004 West Sandusky Street, 6th Ward City Councilman. So back when I was appointed to city council in 2014, my ward was different. I had the West Park area. And I think when they changed the wards, none of you guys were on city council. That's back when Bob Nichols, a couple people that passed away, you know, Jim Slough,
Randy Van Dyne.
Ron Monday, Randy was, yeah. So and we never really had trouble. I mean, we've had people come in, and some of you might know, and I know Jeff's here, like Charlie Williams, talk for, you guys all remember him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen Charlie. Yep.
Saying some slang language, you know, female body parts, things like that. We let him go. It was different administration. And now we're getting to nitpicking. Why don't we leave it alone? We have never had an hour of public comment. We put a clock on the wall, we'll be laughed out in northwestern Ohio. That's my opinion. It's never went on that long. So if we have an hour, 15 4-minute speakers, I think the most speakers we've had are 6 or 7 in my 10, 11 years. Kathy we need to change things up there. And I think all these people probably voted for us to be here. So we need to sort of, what do I want to say? Take them into consideration, leave them, we need to hear them. We need to hear everything people in Findlay say. So why change the rules, regulations? I think they're fine.
Jim, if I could, so the reason for the 60-minute clock, was because there is a petition going around from the general public with more than 1,000 signatures on it right now that felt that, 4 minutes and I think it currently reads like you can have three speakers per issue. So it was
On each side of the issue.
on each side of the issue. So if you're against an issue, the park or some water rates or whatever they are, you can only have 3 speakers for 4 minutes. And so there's a petition being signed, and there's over 1,000 signatures. And I was trying to accommodate them. I'm trying to accommodate everybody as best I could, and that's why. That's why we went from 3 speakers at 4 minutes to the 60-minute, and that's what I was just trying. That's where that came from. Just so you know.
And the 60 minutes keeps it generous, Jim. Like you said, we haven't had so many speakers to where we have to turn them away. So we wanted to keep it generous, and that does that. It accomplishes that, Jim.
I think at one time it was 5 or 6 minutes. And that's
It
when
was 6 at one time, I think.
Yeah, it was changed down to
was 6,
4.
yeah.
Yeah, Josh, you remember that.
Yeah.
But it's like, and we've never denied anybody, I don't think. We've always, first and
We
second.
typically
leave 'em-
do extend, yeah.
Yeah, leave them extend. So
And that's still in there. I mean, we can still do that. So I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think these changes are as drastic as maybe they seem at first glance. I think it keeps things
And I-
pretty similar, but it does tighten up, the comments to the city official, the administration.
I can't see someone coming in and then we say, well, you can't talk till the end of the meeting. I'm sorry. They could have drove here or there, from here or there. Just like the lady in Alzheimer's, what'd she do? I said that a couple meetings ago. She got her certificate from the mayor, got her coat on, she left. She was probably, Better watch what I say, so.
She was on the agenda. She
Now
had
I'm
an,
gaveled.
Time's up.
she, she was,
But I can't see.
but her
That's you.
resolution was on the agenda,
Yeah.
so she wouldn't
Right.
have, she wouldn't have gone to the end. She would have been on the agenda and, so.
But still, we've had utilities, we've had Columbia Gas, I think we.
And they're still going to be in the same spot that they are now.
Yeah, leave them talk, and why leave somebody stay till the end? I've been at a 20-minute meeting, I've been to way too long of meetings, you know. It's just my opinion. We have to take the public's, why leave them sit? They voted for each one of us. If we don't like our job, we could resign. We can walk out,
I-
people have
very-
before.
very few
They'll
people-
fill your position,
Yeah,
mark my word.
Very few people leave and speak and then leave. I mean, most of the people stay for the end, and I guess
Well,
the
right.
reason why we did that is just to we just wanted to prioritize the city's business, get the city's business done. That we can sit there all night and talk
Well,
about.
it's
you know.
fine. I know it's fine, but it's not fair to them. City business could wait. I mean, there was nothing really major since I've been here. I mean,
So Jim, let me understand, you're suggesting that people are allowed to speak their 4 minutes right in the beginning, whatever topic it is, whether it's on the agenda or it has to do with whatever. I mean, I don't care what.
Right.
So,
I mean, they don't know the agenda. The public doesn't know the agenda till they get here.
well,
I
I
leave
think,
them wait.
Well, it's published.
There's a number of them that pull it up on Friday when it comes out.
and I
Could
think,
be.
I think
Could be.
part of it was when we discussed this was to reinforce the fact that this is a business meeting of city council to run the business of the city, first and foremost. And I don't think anybody wants to deny people the opportunity to speak, but I think it was to reinforce the fact that to show a little bit of respect and not to go off on a tangent that doesn't have anything to do with running the business of the city. And I've heard from some business people who said some of the things that were going on was a little bit out of line, was disrespectful to the mayor, was disrespectful to city council people. And I think had that not happened, I don't think we'd be sitting here today, to be honest.
Could be, but we actually had an officer in here.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Policeman, you guys, Dan wasn't
What was
on-
that?
Because Ron Monday suggested that back,
Yeah.
because there were some pretty upset people, so that's all.
I understand.
I just think, it's working fine. Kathy needs more help. I was in here 5:30, 6 o'clock on a Friday, and our packets weren't done. Now, what's wrong with that?
Well, I think moving it up to Thursday
You
helps
know,
her a little bit,
so,
but
all right, that's just
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Thanks, Jim.
and
I
some of
appreciate-
the.
thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more
I
comment.
appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
So Jamie Cunningham, again, Van Buren. So I think I had spoken with Mr. Hellman the last time you had gathered for ad hoc, and I had made the comment that I would request that you would prayerfully consider extending the 4 minutes to 6 minutes, only because it would be in writing, making it official. I agree that all of you have been really, really gracious at giving extensions. I mean, I haven't seen you deny. So the idea of taking it to 6 minutes, if you have, say, a hot topic that needs a little more in-depth exploration, because some people are eloquent speakers, some are not.
Some are less
And
so.
some people do ramble, and that 6 minutes could be a little long if they're rambling. But I think for an appropriate time, 6 minutes would deal with that. I don't think every speaker is going to use 6 minutes, but if it's in writing, it would probably cut down on the interruptions where you have to give that continuance. So, just a comment.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm Ann Cole, Ward 2B. I guess it's mainly just a comment that I do appreciate that you guys have listened to some of the comments that have been received. But in relation to what Jim said, this whole thing started because of one or two people who misused the time that was given to them for slanderous comments, attacks, but I just feel like there's been a lot of wasted time on council's side trying to put into place new rules. It's kind of like the corporation that sends out an email to everybody when two people screw up. So, and I mean, at this point, I think we're done, but it just seems, and I don't even know what you do about that, but it seems like you've spent a lot of time doing a lot of things because one or two people have come in here and misused their time that they were allotted. So I don't know whether there's a better solution to that than, saying to everybody, well, okay, we're going to change the rules. I guess that's all I have to say on that. I don't have any answers, but it feels weird.
All right, I appreciate the comments. I do. One of the things why it has taken as long as it has, because I wanted it to be an open process, because there have been accusations that we haven't been as open as people would like. So I think we bent over backwards to be open and have this available so people can see how the sausage is made. So that's why it's taken as long.
If I can, Josh, can I, in response, and I agree with you. There have been 2, 3, 4 people that, maybe abused the privilege of being able to speak, and this was a way to kind of set some parameters on that. But I agree with what you said. It's taken a hell of a lot of time to come up with this. Although it may not look like it, it has, particularly on Dan's part. And I would agree with you. I would have preferred not to have to go through this and just let it be an open forum. I spoke with a friend of mine who's on city council in Sylvania, and they said, and I had said something to them about the 4-minute rule, we talked about a lot of different things, but going to 6 minutes, and they says, my God, 6 minutes? They said, I think 4 minutes is plenty. So, I mean, we had that kind of an exchange. I didn't think we were too out of bounds in that regard, but I agree with you to have to go through this because 2, 3, 4, 5 people that kind of abused the privilege and thought this was an open public forum and could say anything they want to anybody and use the kind of language that they wanted to. Mm-hmm. In fact, it was mentioned Charlie Williams that was in here. Jim brought him up. We had to have the police come down and threaten to put him in handcuffs. And he said, fine, go ahead. And he did.
Wow.
And threatened one of the other city council members and said, and I know where you live. And it was those kinds of threats. So we thought it would be better to put some kind of boundaries on it. Not that I don't think anybody here wanted to do that, to be honest with you.
And at the end of the day, this proposed document's going to go to city council, and they all might agree with Jim and vote it down, and then we're back to where we were, and this was all a waste of time. But we'll see. It'll go to city council. So this is the meeting minutes basically, and we're going to make this. We'll have Denise make that one edit, and then we're going to send this marked up version to council, and they'll take a vote. And basically what we're proposing is just a 4-week trial, right? So we're gonna run it for 4 weeks, 4 meetings. Excuse me, 2 months, 4 meetings,
8 weeks,
and then see how it goes. And maybe we won't like the clock. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes, and then try it out. And then at the end of that, we'll reconvene and change or leave it as is. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any comments to make? If not, we will be wrapping up this meeting. One quick. All right, Randy.
Randy Odermatt again. I think what Mr. Niemeyer brought up was his concern about having an actual clock up here that everybody could see. I think there's ways you can get around that. You can keep a clock without having, some big scoreboard
That's what's
thing
done
sitting
right now,
there.
Randy.
Yeah, so that it's not really that everybody's noticing, a countdown going on. Just somebody just keeping track and letting it know as time goes along. Well, we've used up 30 minutes, we've used up 45 minutes, and I think that might solve some of what you were talking about.
certainly during the trial period, we're not going to buy a clock for the
Right,
trial.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Somebody just keeping time.
right.
And
Yeah,
then
that's-
nobody,
that'd be your
nobody
job,
watching
Randy.
out in the public on live stream really.
Randy, we're
really-
going to hire you to do that.
Alrighty, if that's all that we have, this meeting will be adjourned. Going once, going twice. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you. Sorry, let's start again. So, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend these